Hello everyone and welcome to a Patreon exclusive Let's Play of one of the classic business sims. Everyone knows that I do strategy games, sims. We want to do something special for patrons and kind of like provide some more value for you guys there. So I figured what better than a Let's Play. Short little Let's Play, not sure how long it'll go, but hopefully, you know, we'll have quite a bit of a journey together. And we're playing game Dev Tycoon. This is a classic. I think it's just hit 10 years last year. And this is all about becoming your own game development studio, game development corporation, eventually, with all the things you can do. It's a great game. I've put a bunch of hours in it. Steam says not so much, but I contend that I've put quite a bit into it. And yeah, really good comfort with the game. And so hoping we have like a nice fun Let's Play and you guys can learn more about the game, see if it's something you're interested in. You can pick it up pretty cheap, support an indie game developer. It's all good. With that out the way, let's get started. And so we're at the welcome. Let's see here. Welcome to Game Dev Tycoon. In this business simulation, you have been transported back in time to start your very own game development company right at the beginning of the PC revolution. In the next 35 years, you can build your dream company, create best-selling games, gain fans, and become the leader of the market. That's right. So this starts us in, I guess, the 80s, pretty much, kind of, you know. It's kind of where a lot of people think about like the games industry rising up and becoming what it is today. So we got that done. Let's get started. Before we get started, we have to come up with a company name. So we have to come up with a company name, our player name. There's some randomization you can do here in regards to gender, if you want to be male, female, and what the company name will be. Let's randomize a little bit. I want to pick someone that maybe looks a little bit like me. So let's see what we can do there. That's it's okay. Nope, we got two blacks. Let's go with the fuzzy haired one, huh? And then let's pick I don't know. I don't like vests. Oh, a nice blue shirt. Company name. Now this is Thoughts and Players. I feel like it's only right that we call the company. Let's call it Thoughts. You know what? Let's call it Players Inc. Players Incorporated, huh? And the player name, player? No, we're gonna go with you know what? This is my thing. It's gonna have my spin on it. We're gonna call him Black Guy. Okay. I feel like this is a very literal, vague, not inspiring name selection, but it fits us. I think it fits the brand, right? Black Guy, Black Guy. We just got one for now. And we're Players Inc. All right, now let's get started. All right, so we are in the game and we are rolling. You can see you have year one. If I can click, you can pause it. You have 0 fans. We're in year 1, month 1, week 3. The weeks tick by super fast, and we start out with 70 grand cash. We are in, I'm assuming, our parents' garage. Little car. I wonder what kind of car that is. It looks like the front end of a DeLorean, maybe. We got some, yeah. So we're going to develop a new game. So when you go to develop a new game, you have your game concept. This is obviously the name you can choose for it. And you can pick your topic, your genre, and your platform. So let's look at our topics. So it starts you off with about 4 topics. And you can, through research, you'll uncover all these other topics. Now, keep in mind, there's some things that are blatantly obvious, right? If you think about how games play, and if you think about genres, you'll usually be in a pretty good spot. So, but as you research things, as you develop games and publish them, the game will tell you which ones mix and match better than others. And that kind of helps you, like, know what you need to do in order to ensure the success of a game. So we've got 4 here: disaster, history, racing, and thief. Y'all know your boy. These 2 hit like a mofo, right? I love racing sims, but probably things that I love more than racing sims are history RTSs, grand strategy games. Think Crusader Kings, think Age of Empires, think Rise of Nations, think the Total War franchises, right? Those all kind of fall in here. But I don't want to be predictable. So I'm going to be semi-predictable, and I'm going to go racing here. In our genres, we've got action, adventure, RPG, simulation, and strategy. They're a bit nebulous, obviously, because there's subgenres, and you will be able to unlock subgenres in the game. You'll also be able to unlock multi-genres. So, for instance, right now you can either choose to do an action or an RPG. Eventually, you'll be able to create an action RPG. So, something like a more current Assassin's Creed or something like that. We know for racing games love simulations, right? So, racing and simulations, and the game's giving me a hint. Great combo, guy. You're doing it. Alrighty, now we got to pick our platforms. Now, this game gives approximations of actual real-world consoles. So the G64 is a play off the Commodore 64, and then we have PC here. And each of these gives a development cost up front and a market share percentage and genre matches. So we got to think here, right? We could develop for the G64. It has more market share, right? About 12 to 13% more market share than the PC. The upfront development cost for the G64 is $20K compared to the $5K for the PC. And also, if we look at our genre matches here, we can see that simulation is a 3+. That's the highest you can get. It's 1, 2, and 3. Then you obviously have your negatives. So simulation works really well here. We don't know if it works there. Now, I'm a very conservative person in regards to how we're going to do the money here. So I say that we stick with PC. And we come up with a name for it. Let's call it, technically, I know aces are usually reserved for, let's say, planes, like fighter jets. But I want to call it Racing Aces, right? I think that's a nice game. This is our first game, okay? And we're going to click next. And so our graphics, we can do text-based game or we can do 2D graphics. Now, I love a great looking game. It doesn't have to be the end all be all, but I love a great looking game. So we're going to go with 2D graphics. One, see that money come out for development as well as for rent. All those expenses came out. So let's look here. So again, we have hints. The game gives us hints, and it tells us that gameplay in a racing sim is the most important part of the game. So I'm going to crank the amount that we invest into that certain game more. And I'm going to, quest means almost nothing, right? So I'm going to scale it down to as little investment as possible. So kind of max out gameplay, maybe actually. I think engine is okay. And we have quests there, story and quests. There's no real story and quests and racing games. Even the greatest ones like Underground didn't really have those greatest stories. So we're going to click OK. And then Black Guy's going to get to work. Black Guy is going to start cranking out these little bubbles. That lets you know what's going into the design of the game, the technology in the game, how many bugs there are in the game. And then we're also getting research points. And these research points are what we'll use to research new topics, to research advanced technology, advance our game engines, and different things like that. So we're at development stage 2. We have 3 different items to invest in. So it's giving us hints that artificial intelligence may be the most important aspect in this genre, and the level design may be the second most important, and dialogues may be definitely not relevant. So we know we can lower dialogues. That kind of goes with stories and quests. We can up artificial intelligence. We'll up level design a little bit and lower dialogue a little bit more, because we think these are the most important things to develop our time and our energy into. So we'll click OK. Black Guy cranking out these bubbles again. The bubbles have a really satisfying sound for some reason. Good job on the developers. And we're here again. So these selected features on the side, you may have been noticing them. These are features that are like you can intrinsically or innately put in the game, but there are also additional ones that you can add. When you add them, the extra features require more time, right? They require more of a workload. The theory is that adding these features also increases the quality and probability of your game being successful and making a lot of money. So let's see here. World design, we're going to lower that. Graphic, I would agree. And sound's pretty important too. I want to boost that up there too. Like you got to hear the rumble of the engine, and that's all got to make sense. And that's another, and each of these selected features can cost an additional amount. So going back to that, so the cost here is 5K. So to have basic sounds was costing us the extra amount of money. If we didn't want to have any sounds in it, we could take that off, and this stage of development wouldn't cost us any additional money. But let's put our best foot forward. We'll put the 5K in. What's 5K? It's quite a bit, but still, let's hope it's the best foot forward, right? So we'll crank that out. Here we go, folks. Here we go. We're done. We're gonna let Black Guy push through here, get these bugs out the way. Here we go. He's all done. Click finish. So at the end, we see the design and technology that this game required and the experience gained in all these different areas. As we create more games, we'll get more experience, we'll level up. That with each of those levels will unlock different things we can add. So for instance, if once we level up stories and quests, that'll allow us to write, basic storylines, branching quests, right? So this is where we get into one of my other favorite games, Elder Scrolls Skyrim's, right? We can start writing your Dark Brotherhood type of story quests, these really engaging quest lines and stuff like that. Right now we're just a Black Guy, and we've created a game, and it's time to release it. We can trash it if we want, if we think it's going to suck, but we can't afford. We're 26K. If we run out of money, I think we're allowed to go 50K into debt, and then game over. So this has got to hit. We're basically, remember, we started with 70 and just creating this one game, having to pay rent, having to invest in extra features. We're already down here. So let's hit release and let's see what happens. Game review. First reviews for our new release game, Racing Aces, came in. What did we get? Okay, 6, 3 stars. 6, I like it, 3 stars. 6, 3 stars, okay. And oof, okay. So that puts us at like a 5.75 here. 2.5 stars. So whenever you release a game, you get these reviews. These scores basically, indicate it's Metacritic, right? Like how good your game is going to be. The higher the score, the more it sells. The belle of the ball, to use a very antiquated patriarchal term, I guess, if you want to say that, but that's what it means. Quirky but good. I like it. Racing and simulation is a great combination. Falls a bit short. Okay. 5.75. It's not great, but what are you going to do? Let's roll with it, close, and let's see how much we sell here. Players Inc., a newcomer in the game industry, has just released their first game, Racing Aces. The game received favorable reviews. With such a good start, Players Inc. are sure to gain fans quickly. So when you release a game, you gain fans. So let's see here. Yeah, okay. So in our first week, we sold over 5,000 units, and we made it to number 50 on the sales charts. And look at that. We also gained 25 fans. Look at that. As soon as I was saying it. So this will be on sale for a few weeks. What we need to do immediately afterwards is click on Black Eye here and generate a game report. Now, game report will give you some information. If you select the game for game report, it'll give you some information here. But most importantly, what it will do is once you get done creating that game report, it will give you some information about genre matches, about platform matches, and different things like that. Look at that. We hit 10K total units. We're killing it. We are like FromSoftware with the sales here. So our game report is done. Post-release analysis of Racing Aces. Artificial intelligence seems to be very important for this type of game. So it's confirmed some things. Remember before I had an artificial intelligence, I think either 2 or 3 pluses in a question. It's confirmed that it is very important. So when we develop our next racing sim, we'll probably develop another one later on down the line, right? We'll have it'll be more of an affirmation or more of a confirmation that that's a good direction to go in. But no rest for the wicked, huh? We've got to crank out our next game. We can do research, and if we want to, we can research a new game topic. We'll eventually be able to research how to create a custom game engine, but we can also research new topics here. So we can do abstract, surgery, law, and detective. I don't think we need any of those because I think the 4 that we just rolled here at the beginning are super strong. And so what I want to do is I want to immediately go into developing another game. And this time we are going to pander to my effects. And I think we want to do a history strategy game, which is another great one. Let's see here. Strategy is a triple plus on here. Again, PC has less market share. That's true. But again, I say just write PC. Yeah, we don't have we have 14% market share difference, but if the G64 ends up not having the 3 pluses of strategy or history, I mean, you know, what's gaining 14% if that 14% has no interest in the type of game we're making, right? So let's go PC here again. In history, let's you know what? Behold Napoleon. And you know what? I want to make it funky, so I'm going to put an exclamation after behold because I'm different. Yeah, let's do like a Napoleonic Wars type of history game, right? I think that'd be pretty cool. Keep it 2D with the graphics. Cost initial is going to be $15K, but hey, we got almost $100K in the bank because, you know, we're slinging that rock. We're slinging that Huron here with racing aces. We're going to get started here. Now, this one, not a lot of experience with in previous playthroughs, so the game's not really giving us any clues. So we've got to kind of guess what we think a history strategy game would value. So for me, I think story and quest, probably not that much. I wouldn't think as much. I would think if anything, we'd probably emphasize the engine more when it comes to strategy games, right? In gameplay coming in second. I could be wrong though, but that's what I think. So we're gonna roll with that. And, you know, you kind of think about it from the angle of like an engine, right? Like engine is part of the technology of the game. So the more I put into engine, the more I'm beefing up the technology of the game compared to the design of the game. Let's see here. Dialogue doesn't really mean anything, and I think that correlates with story and quest not meaning much. Level design, it thinks is very important. And I'd say artificial intelligence may be a little bit less important, but still important, right? When you're going against the AI, you want the AI to be competent. You don't want it to be like Madden, where the AI will, you know, have no wide receivers on their team and draft 2 quarterbacks, right? So you need some artificial intelligence. That's good. But let's roll with that. Let's see how that works. And since we're putting more into level design, we're evening up a little bit more with the design aspect, but technology's still ahead there. World design. I think that goes right with level design, right? You want an interesting world that you're developing, and graphics for strategy games aren't the emphasis. I've talked before about games like Civ and even games like Total War and City Builders. The world building, the world design has to be great, and the sound has to be good. You gotta have a slapping sound track behind it, because if I'm playing Civ, I might be playing one game of Civ for 10, 15, 20 hours. It needs to have some slapping music to kind of keep me focused on, you know, researching technology to destroy the world. So we're going to do that. We're going to click OK. Look at that. Our game is off the market. It sold a total of 14,000 units and generated 100,000 in sales. That's it for Racing Aces. We can maybe possibly revisit it later in a sequel once we unlock that, but it's gone. Recent market studies suggest that the Gavador 64 is steadily outselling competitors in the PC sector. Consumers prefer the lower price, greater availability. So this is just confirming for us that the G64 is really going to beat the PC when it comes to market share. Now we all know the story, right? The Commodore 64 ends up going kaputs, and PC ends up outliving it. But you know, it reflects all those different milestones and kind of like really interesting industry stories that happen throughout history as well, which is another cool thing with this game. For the meantime, we're just going to stay the course and devote for PC. We got bugs. Okay. Alrighty. So this is a new record. Got 11 in design, 12 in technology. We're building on our experience here. Let's go ahead and click and speed this up. Look at this, black guy is leveling up. We're going to release the game. The first reviews are in for Behold Napoleon. Oof, oof, oof. There was a 10 for a second there. 8, love it. Okay. 7, nice experience. Okay. So we won't get an 8 unless we get a 9, right? We got an 8 here. And oof, that's not great. So what, 7.5 maybe? I can't maths right. Let's see here. Was I right? No, 7.25. So better than our first game, but not. It's a pretty good game, right? Let's go ahead and do a post-release analysis while the game goes out. Oh, look at that. Look at that. 23,500 in the first week. 18.2. Let's see what our game report says. Dialogue seems to not be important for this type of game, and you would be correct. Unless you want to go with something campy like a Red Alert 2, where the dialogue is everything because it's funny. But yes, that is it. Alrighty, so we are hitting it. We are gaining fans, over 100 fans. Ooh, look at this. According to rumors, the Japanese company Nintendo is planning to launch its very own home gaming console. So Nintendo is a play on Nintendo, obviously. Dinky King, obviously a play on Donkey Kong. It's really cool what this game does. And so you can kind of anticipate based on history what you think is going to, be great. So like we know that Nintendo is going to kick ass. So we can anticipate that to some extent. There's doubt, but we know. It's Link, right? Let all naysayers know that's an Alabama term. They lost. You guys won't get it or care. Let's go to research. And you know what? Let's look here. We still got these 4 that we can research from earlier. We've got history, racing we've already done. We can do a disaster game or a thief game. And I really want to be able to research custom game engines. So I think I'm going to do we'll do one more game for this episode. And I think I want to pick thief. And I think I want to do, if you think thief, what do I think? I think of action, Mission Impossible. That's more of a spy thing, but he starts as kind of like a thief, right? So I'm thinking of thief action. I don't see the thing here, so maybe I'm wrong with this. But you know what? I'm going to trust my gut. I think a thief action game. You know what? Why not? Let's go on the G64. And obviously let's go Steal It Sam. It's super corny, not really inventive at all, but a lot of these games back then weren't. We'll come up with better games. You know what? You guys will offer up some ideas in the comments on what we should name games. Let me know. So we're gonna go 2D again. Yeah. Alrighty. Now it's giving us some hints here. The engine, important, gameplay, and then quit. So we pretty much got it locked out right here. So we're just going to click OK. We're just going to keep going. I also think in this game that it's advisable that you, if you can, start developing as you're still getting money from your previous release, because that will help with like offsetting some costs. So once again, dialogue, not that important, but it changes a little bit here. Level design. Not that much. Artificial intelligence may be the way to go here. So we're going to click OK. Alrighty. Let's see. My guy's thinking, scratching his head, thinking. Beautiful curls. World design. I mean, obviously, no. Graphics. Let's get it looking good. And then sound, right? You hear the creaks, you hear the steps, you hear the doors open. Yeah. Let's roll with that. Napoleon, behold, Napoleon is off the market. Generated 111,000. I think that's a little bit more than Racing Aces. So that's interesting, that it didn't generate that much more for being a marginally better game. That could be what's hurting us could be the market share that we have with PC, right? Because that game had less market share. Platform news, Nintendo, sorry, gotta get in there, is reporting their new home console called the TES for early next year. Now, what is the Nintendo called? The NES, right? All right, click. 12-12, a very even development. And look at that. We've leveled up in some things. We've leveled up in engine. We've leveled up in artificial intelligence and graphic. Sometimes this, if it's, you, it doesn't have to be balanced. Sometimes balance can actually be a bad thing because a certain genre or game type may actually require you to put more into a certain element than others, right? So, you know, if you want to go with maybe like an RPG, I would argue that something like the engine may be more important than the dialogue. So, you know, it doesn't always have to be even. It shouldn't always be even. This just happens to be. So we'll see if that works in our favor or not. 120,000 in cash. Steal it, Sam. Okay, that's not good. 6. Oop, and then we had a, okay. 7 right there. Nice experience. 7, okay. And 8. All games really enjoyed this. So let's see here. That's okay. We're creating a lot of okay games. That puts us at a solid 7. So not as good as our last one, but better than our first one. Cost 54,000 to develop. We're gonna do a post analysis on that and let this ride in sales and see what happens. Okay, 61,000. 33. Alrighty. So we got a couple of notifications here. Our game report. Thief and action is a good combination. So it's a good combination, but not a great combination. And dialogue seems to not be at all important for this type of game. So we know that now with Thief that action works with it. So here's another thing that happens with this game is you're offered contract work once you get to a certain level. Hi there. I've just finished Steal It, Sam, and I'm impressed by your talent. Thank you. I'm in the contracting business that could use skills like yours. If you're ever short on cash, just let me know, and I will see if I have some work for you, Jason. So this is just another way for us to basically, you know, bring in some positive cash flow to our business while we wait for, you know, a game to, you know, maybe it's in the twilight of sales and it's not bringing in a lot of money. We have expenses that are going over our income, or, you know, we just, yeah, we can go with contract work to get ourselves going. I think I'm going to save that for this episode. I think next episode, we're going to jump right into creating our custom game engine. Let me go ahead and pause this so I don't lose any more money. But I think we'll jump right into creating our custom game engine, maybe trying out some contract work, and then, of course, developing more games so we can get out of this garage and hopefully into a proper office. Players, you let me know if you're digging this type of content. This is Patreon exclusive content for the time being, so you let me know if this is something you like. Let me know how I can improve my process of creating Let's Play, since I've never done it before. And thank you. Thank you for being a patron. Thank you for being a player. And I will catch you on the next level.